Hey everybody, welcome in. Today we are doing a little bit different of a video. You may have noticed that Walmart or Walmart.com, they're running a special right now on their Nitro V16 AI gaming laptop. And with Black Friday and Christmas right around the corner, there's bound to be plenty of you out there that are looking for a budget-friendly laptop and wondering what kind of performance you can get. Now with this one, you're getting a Ryzen 5 240 processor, which is a 6-core, 12-thread processor that is boostable up to 5 gigahertz. It comes with 16 gigabytes of DDR memory clocked at 5600, and that is expandable. And you're getting the RTX 5050 with 8 gigabytes of VRAM. Now, on this particular model, it is a 180 hertz panel at 1920 by 1200 resolution, which is something to keep in mind. It is a different aspect ratio from a normal laptop. Walmart has this priced right now at $630. I just picked one up and I figured let's check out how it can run the brand new Ninja Gaiden game. And so for today, what we're going to do is check out Ninja Gaiden 4 on the RTX 5050. Let's see what it can do. Alright, and switching over to the gameplay here, let's go ahead and go to our graphics options. You'll see I'm running at 1080p instead of that 1200. It's just a bit easier on the computer. No frame rate limit, essentially. No upscaling. VSync turned off. Object quality on high. I think I'm going to do the same for the graphic preset, put that on high. Motion blur turned off. Everything else will be on high with wind effects enabled. Alright, and just jumping in here, this is the very beginning of the game, early area. Don't worry about spoilers or any of that kind of thing. But pay attention up there at the top with the frame rate. You'll see that it is staying at around 70 to 75, and the lows are still above 60, which will give you that console-like experience here on the computer at 1080p. Another thing that you'll notice is that the temperatures on both your CPU and your GPU, they're not exceeding or getting, out of that range where you want them to be. And the GPU is being fed about 70 to 75 watts, which means that we don't have one of those limited or throttled GPUs here in this $630 laptop. You're getting the full power. They do recommend about 80 watts or whatever. You don't want to exceed that. So right now we're sitting around that range. You're getting the full potential from that 5050 inside of this machine. And very smooth. I mean, this game has been a blast so far. I'm a few hours in. It's been a long time since we had a, mainline Ninja Gaiden game, so it's been a lot of fun. The combat is definitely repetitive, and I can see that being a major complaint for people. And they do kind of hold your hand a bit more in this game than they have in the past. But, that's actually a good thing in some ways, too, because it's more accessible. You have difficulty options ranging from, like, hero or story mode, which is really easy with a bunch of assist options turned on, or you can even turn them off, too. And then it goes all the way up to, the most hardcore, just like the older games, things like that. So you can really kind of adjust it based on, how you want to play it. So I wouldn't worry too much if you're afraid that these games are just too difficult, because this one does have that accessibility to it. Alright, I think you've seen how the combat handles here in these enclosed areas. So let's jump over to some cutscenes and some more open areas. Alright, and here's just the kind of the opening cutscene, just so you can see how it works with the 5050. Most of the cutscenes, the frame rate actually goes up a bunch, so shouldn't be an issue there. But it's just such a beautiful intro, beautiful looking game overall, that I really wanted to show this part here. Plus it has the title screen, and that's always nice. Well done, Team Ninja. Well done. Yeah. Been waiting a while for this one. Alright, so here is one of the areas where I was saying you will see some dips below 60, but if you weren't looking at the stats up in the corner, you would never even notice, because you do not feel that dip. Like right here, it drops in the high 40s during that explosion and all, but you don't even feel it. And if, you have to see that number above 60 to feel comfortable, you then have frame generation or upscaling that you can deal with, with these new RTX cards. I am not personally a fan of frame gen. I just don't like the input latency that it adds. And on a 5050, you're going to definitely get major input latency trying to run frame generation, especially if you go up into the frame gen times 3 or times 4, which are what the whole 5050 series or the 5000 series is all about. It's not really a feature that you're going to take advantage of too often on the 50 class card. Move up to the 5060 or the 5070 maybe. The problem with those cards is that all the way from the 50 series up to the 5070 series, they all only have 8 gigs of VRAM. That's great for a 5050 card coming from that 4050, which if you notice during the gameplay here, it's running at about 6.8 gigs, which would have exceeded the 4050, which only came with 6. So having that 8 gigs in a 50 class card on a laptop is crazy impressive. A little less so for, the price of like a 5070 laptop to still only come with 8 gigs is a bit crazy, in 2025. All right, so now this is another kind of area here towards the beginning of the game. It is a bit more open, and you'll see that it is staying around 60. It will dip a bit below 55, something like that. But you don't really feel it in game for the most part. There are a few areas where I did get a bit of a stutter. So I probably would end up lowering something, some kind of graphical setting, or putting some kind of upscaling on or whatever, just to help it maintain that steady 60. But if you didn't do that, you handed me this laptop and this is the way I had to play it, just like this, can't change any of the settings, I'd be incredibly happy to play the game like this. And that goes for a few other games that I've played as well. I've been testing a bunch of games so far on this laptop just to kind of get a feel if the 5050 is really worth having. And so far, I'm really impressed with it just because the price to performance. It's not the most powerful graphics card, obviously, but for the price that you're paying when you get it on a deal here around the holidays or Black Friday, hell yeah, all day long. 600 and under 650 for this laptop is crazy good. There's another one that is 650 sitting at Best Buy right now as well. But that one, you got to catch it on sale. It goes on sale, comes off sale, that kind of thing. If you can catch it on sale for that 650, it comes with a bit stronger of a processor, same GPU, same RAM, all that kind of stuff, same 512 storage, but just a little bit stronger of a processor. Might be a better option to go that way. Now, the biggest issue that I'm going to have with this laptop, and one you will definitely want to take into consideration, from my testing in all of the games I've been running, at least the more intense games like this where it's running that GPU at the, pretty much maxing it out. When you're playing, for every hour that you play, the battery, while plugged in, drains still about 2 to 4% per hour, even with it plugged in. And the problem is the power adapter they gave you with the computer just is not strong enough to power the computer. It's a 135 watt power adapter, and it just isn't enough. As you can see, we're pulling 70 plus another 25 from the CPU. So you're right there at 100, and then the rest of the computer is only being given that 30 watts or so to run on, and it just isn't enough. So that is a concern, and it could probably be fixed. They could allow you to get a larger power adapter, more powerful one that can push more juice to it. But that is a shame that you would even have to deal with that. So it's only going to affect you if you play for long periods of time at once for now. But as the battery starts to, diminish over time, the capacity drains a bit, it will become more of an issue over time. But it may never be an issue. So it's just something that I want you to be aware of. You may have to deal with it. You may never have to deal with it. But it is there, and it is something that there's no getting around it. It is just the way this thing is built with the power adapter that they supply you.
Who does she think she is, bossing us around? She's a prisoner, damn it, not a princess.
Yeah, what ninja game would be complete without a stealth assassin from above, right? Assassination from above? Yeah. His executions look so awesome, but again, become very repetitive after a while. But anyway, yeah, I hope you enjoyed the gameplay showcase here. Remember, this is a $630 laptop from Walmart, the Acer Nitro V16 AI. If you enjoyed it though, please remember to leave a like, share it around, subscribe, all that kind of good stuff that YouTube wants you to do. And I'll catch you on the next one.
Hey there. Come on in.